What is up, ladies and gentlemen? What is going on? It is Tuesday. It is December 18th, and the clock has just struck 11 a.m. That means it is time for another episode of our show. Now, you might remember that yesterday I had some problems with my throat. I have a really bad sore throat. I've also got like a runny nose and blah, blah. So my nose is plugged up. Sometimes it starts running. I got a sore throat. It really sucks. I'll just have to see if I'm able to survive. Now, so far this morning, I've been perfectly fine, but I've had my mouth shut. I haven't been talking to anybody. I haven't been saying a word to anybody anywhere. And when you do a show like this, it's all about talking. You're just talking. And so hopefully I'll be able to get through this without much trouble and everything will work. I do have a Halls, cherry flavored Halls thing for my throat in case it goes really bad. I also have some toilet paper in case my nose starts running. Yeah, I typically use toilet paper to blow my nose. I don't even use Kleenex. I don't know, Kleenex irritates my nose after a while. Alrighty, so here we are, folks. This is Tuesday. It is December 18th. This is episode 41, I believe, of our show. I'm going to get my notes up here. I'm going to pop my chat out and get this thing going. And so what is the biggest news of the day? And as you see on the screen right now, we are looking at the trailer for Bioshock, basically like the Bioshock collection, which includes Bioshock, Bioshock 2. It also includes Bioshock Infinite. And if you saw our thumbnail today, and if you saw the title of the show, it's all about Bioshock VR. Oh my goodness. Bioshock VR. Shocker of shockers. Where is Steve Bishop? Because I know, on VR Roundtable, we've talked over and over and over again. And Crunchy says, if it's good enough for your beep, it's good enough for your nose. Absolutely, yeah. Kleenex, man, you use Kleenex. It's almost too fuzzy. There's too many little things coming off of it. And if you keep using it on your nose, like the tip of your nose turns all red. F Kleenex. It's all about toilet paper, guys. But Steve Bishop, VR Roundtable, he's always talked about how his dream would be Bioshock in VR, and I've always agreed with that as well. Bioshock, one of the all-time classics. I'm talking about the original, the very first Bioshock. I'm not talking about Bioshock 2. I'm not talking about Bioshock Infinite. Would you believe, ladies and gentlemen, that I have never played Bioshock 2 and I have never played Bioshock Infinite? I have played Bioshock and I even finished the game, amazingly enough. So I have played Bioshock. Now that was a long time ago. That was an ancient history at this point right now. But obviously the question you guys are asking right now is, wait a minute, where's the proof of this? How do we know that we're actually getting Bioshock VR for sure? And where is it coming? Is it coming to PlayStation VR? Is it going to be a timed exclusive? What's going on here? Why is everybody talking about Bioshock VR? Okay, so let's go to our tweet window. It's been a little while since we've used our tweet window. Here we are. This is our tweet window, and we do have a tweet from Blind Squirrel Games. And of course, if we were ever going to hear about Bioshock VR, you were going to hear about it from Blind Squirrel Games, right? Of course you were. Yeah. No, maybe not. Okay, so Blind Squirrel Games, this is their tweet. It says, tomorrow at 2, tune in for a super special Twitch stream, the BSG Holiday Special. I clicked on that, and it's Blind Squirrel Games, BSG Blind Squirrel Games Holiday Special. Join us for holiday Bioshock Tales, and Forklift Simulator 2019, Festive Shenanigans, and we've got a big surprise in store. Hashtag Bioshock, hashtag Blind Squirrel Games, hashtag VR. Okay, and so that's what we have. This is what we have right here. And everybody is basically taking this and running with it. And they're saying, look, it's confirmed. It is confirmed. Bioshock VR is happening. What else could this possibly be? Now, if we go over here, let's go to our little webby browser window here. Let me click on this. This is the website for Blind Squirrel Entertainment and Blind Squirrel Games. And as we look through here, it's going to cycle through a number of different things that are shown on the screen. Now, one of the things we have to understand about this company, Blind Squirrel Entertainment and Blind Squirrel Games, is they're kind of like a port house. What they often do is they take someone else's game and they port it to another person's platform. That's kind of what they do quite a bit. In fact, I believe that Blind Squirrel Games, they actually handled the original Bioshock remastered port. I believe they handled that. They've also done some of their own games as well, but they've ported a lot of games. And so, you know, Bioshock Infinite, we can see it right here. But as we scroll through these different games, I'm going to let it scroll here for a second. And there's Bioshock and Bioshock 2, the Ultimate Rapture Edition. And we'll let this scroll through a little bit longer here. Or actually, I guess I could just, yeah, Borderlands 2, baby, Borderlands 2. So, you know, my big question here, looking at their website and looking at all of this, did Blind Squirrel Games, did they actually do the port of Borderlands 2 VR for Take-Two Interactive? Does anybody know that? Like when I've played, see, Blind Squirrel is kind of like, they're kind of like a contractor for Take-Two Interactive and for 2K Games. They port a lot of their stuff. They work on a lot of this kind of stuff. And my question is, did they actually do the PlayStation VR port for Borderlands 2 VR? Because when you get into Borderlands 2 VR and you fire it up and it goes through a number of different logos, I don't remember seeing anything about Blind Squirrel Games, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. A lot of times when a company ports a game, a smaller company ports someone else's game over to another platform, sometimes they don't get any credit whatsoever. Sometimes it's not even mentioned because sometimes Take-Two Interactive or 2K Games, they don't want you to actually know that Gearbox Software had absolutely nothing to do with the Borderlands 2 VR port coming to PlayStation VR. Now the question is, why is this important? It's important because if Blind Squirrel Games did handle the port of Borderlands 2, then I believe it is very likely that this is going to be a timed PlayStation VR exclusive, that we are going to get Borderlands VR, but it is going to be a timed PlayStation VR exclusive. And yes, the subreddits will be on fire over that one. Yes, they will. Just like Borderlands 2, just like Skyrim, just like all the different exclusives that have hit PlayStation VR, where it's very irritating to everybody that has an Oculus Rift, everybody that has a HTC Vive. It is a bit infuriating, but you know, that is how things happen. And I think especially if they just worked on bringing Borderlands 2 VR over to PlayStation VR, they've already got a lot of experience in this regard, right? They've already done it. They've brought one of 2K Games' flagship titles to PSVR. They've converted it for VR support. They've already done it. So would it be that big of a shock if they did? Would it be that big of a shock if they did it with Bioshock? Now, of course, there's a lot of extra questions that we have with this. Number one, are we talking about Bioshock? Are we talking about this entire collection with Bioshock 2 and Bioshock Infinite? My personal opinion here is that we're looking at Bioshock, just straight up Bioshock, not Bioshock 2, not Bioshock Infinite. Why? Why? Because Take-Two Interactive and 2K Games, do they really need to port all 3 of these games over in one collection in VR? No, they don't. They could do Bioshock VR and all of us would be very, very happy to just run through the entire game, that original game of Bioshock, run through it in VR and play it all over again for the first time now in VR. We would love it. It would be incredible. Is there any game out there, like Bioshock was kind of one of the very first games to really take this idea of environmental storytelling, telling a story through the environment, telling a story without beating you over your head to tell you the story, telling the story where you're just going through the game and a story is being told by everything you see and by the audio logs and all of that kind of stuff. They pretty much were I mean, they weren't the originators of that entire idea. You'd probably have to go back to Half-Life, really, right? But I think Bioshock, like when it came out, they kind of took it to another level and they showed us what is possible with environmental storytelling. And when you're in VR, yeah, this trailer is actually for the collection. So it's kind of showing like all the games. But when you're talking, yeah, this is an old trailer. This is not Bioshock VR. So we need to back up here and say Bioshock VR has not been announced. This has not been announced. This is speculation. This is rumor. Chris Richardson in chat is saying, wait a minute, the trailer is showing Infinite. What are you talking about here? This is not a Bioshock VR trailer. Right now, this is simply a rumor. The only thing that we're going on, I'm going to switch back over here to my tweet window. This is all we've got. We've got this tweet tomorrow at 2. Tune in for this special Twitch stream. Now, it's going to be funny. I was in a thread on the Vive subreddit, and somebody said, well, what if we, tomorrow at 2 o'clock, we find out that Forklift Simulator 2019 is going to have a VR mode? And I was like, well, wait a minute. I'm pretty sure Forklift Simulator 2019, it already is VR. Like, it already has VR support. In fact, I'm going over here. This is the Steam page for Forklift Simulator 2019. Blind Squirrel Games, this released on November 23rd. If you scroll down a little bit here, HTC Vive Oculus Rift. The VR mode for this game requires the use of a gamepad or a keyboard and mouse. So these guys have done VR. These guys have done VR. They have experience in VR. That's what we're talking about here. And if we go back to our tweet window, one of the little hashtags at the bottom is just Bioshock by itself, and one of the hashtags is VR by itself. Gee, let's put 1 plus 1 equals 2. I mean, 1 plus 1 equals 2. Join us for holiday Bioshock Tales. That's pretty much confirmation, baby. Take it to the bank. Although, to be honest here, one of the questions I do have about all of this is this the way that Take-Two and 2K Games would announce Bioshock VR? They would let the little tiny company that is handling the port announce this game? That's kind of weird to me. That is the one little concern that I have right there is, for example, I mean, let's say you're gonna put Fallout 4 VR onto PlayStation VR. That is huge ass news. Fallout 4 VR is coming to PlayStation VR, but like Evolution Studios or somebody is handling the port of the game, and Evolution Studios tweets out, and I'm just making all this up, but they tweet out, hey, join us for a very special thing that we're going to announce tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Hashtag Fallout. Hashtag VR. Would we really think that Bethesda Game Studios is going to let Evolution Studios announce Fallout 4 VR coming to PSVR? That is incredibly unlikely. So it's a little bit weird. It's a little bit weird that Blind Squirrel Games would actually be announcing this. But at this point in time, this is what we got to run with. This is the information that we have. And so it is possible that we could be looking at Bioshock VR. And of course, a lot more questions are out there, like how much of the Bioshock, you know, are we going to get all 3 games? When is it going to come out? Is this thing almost ready? Is this thing coming soon? You know, so what's going to happen here? So there's a lot of other shoes that are going to drop. We're going to have to wait and find out. Now, Chris Richardson says, so that tweet was yesterday. The announcement is today? I don't know. Was that tweet yesterday? I don't actually have that tweet in front, like the full tweet. I have my tweet window, but I cut a lot of stuff off of it just to have it nicely squeezed in there. Let's go back to our Webby browser window here. I think I actually have, let's see, Blind Squirrel. Okay, well, here's the tweet. Let me click on this. So, oh yeah, December 17th. Ladies and gentlebots, this was tweeted on December 17th. So I guess at 2 p.m. Pacific time, like, is this announcement coming any second? Any second of the day? Blind Squirrel Games is about to shock the world? I don't know. So let's stay tuned. They are located in Orange County, California. So we're talking probably 2 p.m. Pacific time. So that is super awesome, super exciting. We are looking forward to that. So we'll have to hold, you know, let's hold on to our butts. Let's do all that stuff. Let's cross our fingers, all of these kinds of things. That is Bioshock VR possibly headed our way. Okay, so in other news, what else is going on today? Well, guess what, guys? Magic Leap. Yes, we have some Magic Leap news. Now, you guys might remember that I'm not really into Magic Leap all that much. And to be totally honest with you, the dream of Magic Leap has kind of died because it was not what I was personally looking for. The price is not what I was looking for. None of it really, you know. So I'm not saying Magic Leap is dead in the water, but I don't really have an excitement anymore for Magic Leap. Having said all of that, I still want to kind of cover the product and cover major new experiences that are coming out for Magic Leap. And we do have a brand new major experience that is coming out for Magic Leap. In fact, we have Luna Moondust, which is available today. Luna Moondust Garden by Phenomena. Now, this came to Steam. It came to Oculus. You can play this in VR, but now it is available today, I believe, for the Magic Leap 1 headset. Let's go ahead and check out the brand new trailer for this. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this, but let's just go ahead and check this trailer out real quick, and we can talk about it right when we come back.
This is something that really struck me, was that it's not just a entertainment technology, it's a future technology. And from that moment on, I was pretty much hooked.
Just the idea of seeing something come into your environment, that alone has a magical quality to it, right? So instead of worrying about, oh, how do we make sure this feels magical? What we kind of learned is that we can actually revisit, like, what is the feeling that we're trying to create?
For Luna Moondust Garden, we wanted to take those same kinds of concepts, building, constructing, playing with space, and causing your friends to emerge, and build a little narrative that was really specific to the Magic Leap. So in this game, actually what you're doing is the bird and the owl are already together now, they're friends. It's a sequel. And the owl lets the bird know that unfortunately their friend the fox is feeling down and doesn't really want to come out from its hiding place. And so what you do is you build a little world around the fox and you bring that world to life. You plant it with beautiful flowers and trees, and you help the fox feel happy so that it'll come out and play with you. That's the little arc of our game.
When you try the device, you realize that it's basically a completely different paradigm of interacting with the world, of interacting with computing. And so the biggest challenge for us was to take the design of Luna and reinterpret it in a way that makes sense for the Magic Leap.
Luna is a little different because you're kind of put in a different world. It's not your living room, it's, you know, sort of this ether. With Magic Leap, you're still in your world, but your toys are coming to life, which that's really incredible.
The fact that Magic Leap was very enabling and saying, like, you know, yeah, go ahead and make the thing that you're in love with, or go ahead and bring us this IP that you've already developed into this world, and we had like the freedom to do it. That was for us, like, you know, a thrill.
They come, we're like, just have fun with it. See what you can do. don't feel like you have to be held back by restrictions. Just try it, and if it doesn't work out, then we figure out how to like execute our ideas a little bit better.
Phenomena is one of the few studios that's really got a proven track record with being like that kind of experimental sort of crazy house, where they really sort of like try and push the boundaries of everything that they've worked with. All of the things that like a new device could maybe do, they're the kind of studio that really wants to try and push it and make it do that.
Wow, so powerful, man. Now, you know what? The one good thing, though, about watching this little Magic Leap video here is when they do show the clips of the actual game, there isn't a lot of stuttering and a lot of moving around that I have seen in some of the other Magic Leap stuff. Like, you know, looking at that right there, now that might be moving around a little bit, but it's somebody's head is moving around that is filming it. But when they show it like sitting on the table or the carpet, it does look pretty solid. Like right there, like it's not shaking and vibrating all over the place right there. Because I was saying previously, I forget, maybe it was Seedling or whatever video, the last Magic Leap video that we saw. It was like really shaking around and vibrating. And I was like, if it's really shaking around and vibrating like that in real life, like forget about it, man. It's got to be solid. It's got to stand its ground. It's got to be firm and solid. And at least this one kind of looks like that. Now, is this what we really want to do with our Magic Leap headsets? But it kind of seems like one of the things that they're going for here is kind of like a living diorama that is kind of placed in front of you. This is what Insomniac did with Seedlings, or Seedling with no S there. And then it's kind of what Phenomena is doing here with this Luna, is having like this magical thing that kind of takes place on your coffee table, which I think that's kind of cool. And this probably would be super sweet to play around with, you know, but is anybody going to fork over $2,300 for this? Absolutely not. But we will keep our eye on Magic Leap as these things continue to come out and continue to come along. We'll take a look at whatever very big entertainment property that does come to it. We'll kind of keep our eyes on it and watch it from the sidelines a little bit, just so we kind of have a basis of information there. But yeah, that is our quick little Magic Leap story of the day. Okay, let's move on to story number 3. And story number 3, let me pop this up on the screen real quick. Story number 3 is Contractors VR. Contractors VR. Yeah, so the first couple of days that I talked about Contractors, I failed you. I failed you, Anakin. I did fail you, because all I did was I went into like the lobby of the game, and I kind of was screwing around a little bit there. I went into one map and was going up against bots, and that's all I had ever done with Contractors VR. And then yesterday I wasn't feeling very good yesterday, or no, it was the day before. The day before I wasn't feeling very good. I didn't play anything. I didn't play Contractors VR. And so yesterday I felt bad about all of this. And so last night I was like, I gotta go in to Contractors VR. I gotta go in here. I know I'm gonna ruin it for my team. I know whatever team I'm on, it's gonna be a total disaster, and they're gonna die, and I'm gonna bring my team down, and everybody's gonna hate me. But I gotta do it. I gotta do it for you guys. I gotta see, what is this game? Is this anything better than Zero Caliber? Like, is this anything better than Moondust? Like, should we really care about Contractors? Is it really up to snuff? And so I went in here yesterday, and one of the things I did is when you get in there and you're in the waiting lobby, like before you even actually go into a game, it has these little mission 1, mission 2, mission 3, mission 4. And I think it goes all the way to 6. And I never even tried this the first time that I was in there. but it's actually pretty cool because you do like mission 1 and it has these like cardboard cutouts that start popping out behind backgrounds, and so you're just practicing shooting these cardboard cutouts, and you start off with just an individual pistol. Then you go to mission number 2, you've got like an assault rifle and you've got moving targets. You go to mission number 3, you're with an assault rifle, you got moving targets, but you also got civilians that are like being taken hostage, and you're trying to shoot just the bad guys. But all of this is just cardboard cutouts. It's just a shooting range. It's just like a practice thing, but it was actually pretty good. I liked it, and it got me, I felt like I got better feel of my gun. I also felt like I got a better feel of how to aim my gun, and there's, like, you don't want to aim it exactly on top of something. I feel like the bullets go a little bit to the left and down a little bit, and so I started getting used to that, and it felt a lot better. So I did that. I went through a couple of these missions. I finally figured out how to like change my clips, put another clip in, you know, pull the thing back so I actually have a loaded gun and I'm working around here. And then I decided to go into the game proper. And apparently, I guess there's like 4 different maps right now. Somebody can go ahead and correct me in chat if I'm wrong. But I had only seen one map at this point. And yesterday, I got into this city map. And the graphics are pretty freaking fantastic. There's buses all over the place. There's cars. You're in like a downtown cityscape. And it looks pretty freaking badass. You're running around. The guns are shooting well. You got your teammates. I don't know if you can kill your teammates, but if you can, I killed like 3 of them. I had guys that had blue stuff over their heads, like they had like their name was in blue, and I was on the blue team, didn't realize it, and a guy would run around the corner, and I was like, oh, there's a guy, and you know, blew him away, and the guy's like, dude, what are you doing? I'm on your team. I did this a number of times and kind of screwed up quite a bit here, and I was like, oh man, I'm sorry about that. But then I got further into the game and further into the map, and I actually started shooting some of the other players. I actually did kill a few people. In fact, the first game I was in, I got 4 kills. And I think there was a guy on my team that got like 7 kills. He was like the number 1 guy on our team. He led us to victory. We actually won in the first game that I was in. But I was having a lot of fun with this game. And then what I did was I took my helmet off and I ran over to my kids and I said, dude, I've got Call of Duty VR. This is straight up Call of Duty VR. Now, they were busy playing Fortnite or whatever and doing all their little Fortnite crap, so they didn't take me too seriously, but I guarantee you, man, my kids are going to get into this, especially my younger one. He's really going to, although I still got to go back. I still got to go back and say that holding the, like, I still don't know how to run fast without feeling like I'm going to break my Oculus Rift controller. Like, I still don't know how to do that. Like, I'm still fighting with my thumbstick, I believe. And so I still don't know what's going on with that. And that is irritating. Everybody that I was playing with, I was talking to these other guys that I was playing with, and they were all on the HTC Vive. I was like the only guy on the Oculus Rift, and I was like, man, trying to run, like they were all running fast. Like 3 of them took off running fast, and I couldn't catch up to any of them, and I'm trying to like stick my thumbstick, you know, down and push it down and go forward and try to run fast. I couldn't really run fast. So I need to figure that out. I'm still going to suck. I'm going to get killed. Like, I got sniped from hundreds of yards away. I'm going to die like crazy. But basically what I will say about this game, and I didn't get the shotgun yet, and that looks super fun. I didn't get any of the sniper rifles yet. That looks super fun as well. But what I will say about this game is I think this is a cut above. This is a cut above 0 Killed, 0 Caliber. Moondust is kind of a different game, but I think just pure gun, shoot, shoot, bang, bang. I think this may be the #1 VR game right now in terms of shoot, shoot, bang, bang. Now, I don't know, like people swear by Pavlov, people swear by Onward, so I don't know if this is going to dominate Pavlov and Onward, and this is going to be like the VR shooter game of choice. but it is definitely in the mix to be sure. And I actually did the sliding thing. I got down, like I was running along and I got down really low and my guy automatically slid. Oh, the other thing I was thinking about this game is, if you have wireless, you're going to be better than someone without wireless, because I was like ducking down. I was turning this way, turning that way, thinking that somebody's going to sneak up on me. And so I, turn around real quick, doing all that kind of stuff. And I don't have wireless. Okay. I Am Rhett says, I'll say it one more time. Anthony, press the thumbstick down once. Okay, so, so just click it one time and then just push forward. Okay, I'll try that. Maybe I kept pushing it forward and deactivating it or something. So you just click it once. If it's just click once and they put you in running mode, the way it should work is you click it once and then there should be like some little indicator on your screen that lets you know you're in running mode maybe. Because I guess I was clicking it on and off a million times, and that's why I thought it was horribly frustrating. T-Bone says, is the single player with bots any good? It's okay. I also had performance issues. Like, I had performance issues in this game. It didn't always work perfectly for me. Sometimes it was stuttering and having some serious issues here. I can't really judge it in a major way, though, until I get my new Ryzen build all done and I have like a modern... Like, as soon as I get my Ryzen build done with my new motherboard, my new RAM, my new CPU, and I get my 1080 Ti in this new computer, which should be happening pretty soon. I might actually get my RAM today. Once all of that happens, then I will be able to judge these games and I'll start criticizing them if their performance isn't up to snuff. Right now I can't criticize them because I don't know that everything is situated properly in my computer right now, so I can't really criticize it right now. But I did have some performance issues. Let's see. Yeah, T-Bone says, is the single player with bots any good? That's what I got in there in the beginning. And you know what it's good for? It's good for learning the layouts of the maps. It's good for getting familiar with shooting your gun and like reloading your gun and it's good for getting the feel of it. You're going to have the bots running around. Now, they're not going to be anything near like what a real human opponent is going to be. And this is kind of a teamwork game. So is this 4-on-4? I'm guessing this is like a 4-on-4 game. I don't know for sure, but when I was running around, it seemed like there was 3 other guys and me. So it seemed like a 4-on-4 kind of a thing. But I thought, this is definitely the shooter to keep your eyes on. And assuming that the performance is good for most people, and once I finally figure out this running thing and I don't have any more problems with the running thing, this could be definitely the shooter to watch out for. And it's going to be super interesting to see if this really does take over and take like some of that Pavlov and Onward. Is it going to steal their player bases? That's going to be super interesting to see if that happens. Okay, I Am Rhett says it's 5-on-5. Alrighty. Okay, so let's go into our next story, and this one is going to be very short, and then we got a couple very short stories real quick, and then we'll get on to the games of November. We're going to break it up into 2 pieces because we got a lot of November games. So we're going to do part 1 today, and maybe we'll do part 2 tomorrow. But real quick, I just wanted to pop on the screen real quick. This is Gun Club. Now, the developer of Gun Club is The Binary Mill. This is the same studio that brought out Rush. And Rush recently arrived on PlayStation VR. We heard that Gun Club was also going to be arriving on PlayStation VR. In fact, this is the trailer for Gun Club on PlayStation VR, and it is available today. This game is actually out today. It came out today. So Gun Club is available. It is $24.99 on PlayStation VR, $25. That is Gun Club. I've never played this, but I do know on our Oculus Rift, like top 100 rankings, top 200 rankings, we have had people that have voted for Gun Club as one of their favorite games, and Binary Mill is a pretty solid developer. Okay, so that is Gun Club. Okay, last little tidbit that we have before we get into our November games is, let's see, where is it here? Let's see. Okay, the Spy Who Shrunk Me. So I just wanted to go over this really quick because some people out there are getting confused. Now, the Spy Who Shrunk Me is a game that I'm pretty excited for from a VR standpoint, but this is available today, December 18th. It is available today. The developer is Catland. However, know this, there is no VR support right now. The VR support is not coming until sometime in the first quarter of 2019. So don't buy this today thinking you're going to be playing VR, because you're not. There's no VR support right now. So I just wanted to warn people on that. However, if you know for sure that you're absolutely going to get this game, maybe go ahead and buy it, just from the standpoint that you can save 15% on this game. You can get it for $8.49. And then you can wait around until sometime in, in early 2019, and then the VR version will be there. And it says, please note, the game is pretty short at the start of our early access, but we're working on new levels, gadgets, and the VR version through 2019. And that's the other thing. I was looking at this price. I'm like, $9.99? $8.50? Like, this is one of those situations. It's like when I found out the price of transference. When I found out the price of transference, it was kind of like a Debbie Downer, because I was like, wait a minute, the price is way too low on transference. That means it's going to be a short game. Now, I was perfectly fine. Like, I finished transference. It took me 5, 6, I don't know how many hours. Perfectly fine with that. It worked out great. It wasn't a problem. But looking at this price, like looking at $9.99, looking at the fact that this is $8.50, I got to imagine this is incredibly short. So you got to understand that. And the developer is straight up saying it. Look, this is pretty short right now. This is an early access release. Understand that. I don't give people an early access pass. I do not give developers an early access pass. They're taking your money. The bottom line is they're taking your money. And so I believe criticism can come if it wants to come. If you're taking money, you're opening yourself to criticism. I don't give an F if you're going to say early access. And I'm not judging Catland in any way, shape, or form with this. I'm just saying, at least they're letting people know right from Jump Street that this is pretty short. But I mean, it has a really cool art style, a really cool look. Kind of looks almost a little budget cut style. A little bit of Incredibles kind of on the art style and that kind of thing. And the trailer was super cool. So I'm still kind of excited about this, but there's no VR support right now. So please understand that. Alrighty, so that's basically all of the news that I wanted to get into. And so now I wanted to get into the games of November. And we've got a lot of games in the month of November that did hit. There's a lot of different games that we got to give a little bit of love to. And let's go ahead. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Let's go ahead and let's start it off with our first game of November. Let me go ahead and grab the trailer for our 1st of November. Here we go. Okay, so our first game in the month of November is Déraciné, or Déraciné, or Déraciné. I don't know how you pronounce the game. I don't know. Why am I talking like I'm Italiano? I'm Italiano, but this is like a French game. I don't know why I talk like this. But Déraciné came out on November 6th. This is From Software. And the reviews on this game were mixed. Also, the price, not necessarily a cheapo game. So this is one of those games that goes into what I call my blind spot. Yes, this is a blind spot game because I have no idea what this game is about or if it's halfway decent or anything like that. Now, the one thing I do know about this game, from reading the Upload VR review for this game, one of the things that they said is as you get further and further into this game, there is some interesting stuff that is done from an interpersonal relationship standpoint with some of the characters that are in this game. In fact, I believe Déraciné, okay, that's how it's pronounced. Déraciné, would you like a croissant? Would you like a croissant with that? Would you like a croissant with Déraciné? But anyway, one of the things that I did here is Upload VR was kind of saying, like, in a similar way to Lone Echo and your relationship with Olivia, that there's kind of some interesting interpersonal relationship stuff that goes on in certain parts of this game, and that was kind of the most interesting aspect of the game. There's also a lot of like fairy stuff, and it's kind of whimsical and kind of magical and kind of a little goofy fairy tale that I believe can rub certain people the wrong way. Like there's certain people that might get into this and they're like, oh, hell no, get out of here with this fairy stuff. And there's other people that, you know, they kind of understand, okay, this is a story, and they just flow along with it. So that is Déraciné. And it released on November 6th. That is our first game in the month of November. Definitely a blind spot for me personally. If anybody in chat, if you've played this game and you really, really love this game, you can go ahead and talk about it in chat. I'll go ahead and mention that. Okay, our next game in the month of November, on the same day, November 6th, this is Transpose. And this is a game that I'm going to get behind. I like this game. It is a puzzle game. It's a weird game. It's kind of got this cool Tron-like aesthetic. One of the coolest aspects of this game, actually, we've talked about it a number of times. We said, who's done the best inverse kinematics? And I don't know that I would say Secret Location, developers of Blasters of the Universe. I'm not going to say that they've done the best inverse kinematics. However, they have done inverse kinematics in Transpose, and I think they've done it in actually a very good way. When I'm inside my weird robot Wizard of Oz, you know, you feel like you're in the Emerald City. You're like a magical robot from the Emerald City in Wizard of Oz, and you're looking around at your hands and you're looking at your arms, and you're really skinny. But I think it's better to be kind of more of a skinnier person than like a big fat person that they make you in some of these other games, like Zero Caliber. You're like this big hubba bubba guy, you know, and so you got these inverse kinematics, but you got this big body here, you got these big legs and big arms. And with Transpose, you're much more sleek, you're much more skinnier, and I don't know, for me, I got more of like, oh, this kind of does feel like, not that I'm like some super skinny dude, but like I felt a little bit more in my body in Transpose. And then also like the body and everything, I think they kind of do a pretty good job of that in Transpose. I love the Tron world in this game. Like I really wish it wasn't just a puzzle game. I wish I could just explore in this world and meet different characters and like do things in this world, but it's basically just a puzzle game. And the music is really good. Like the music fits the game well. The price is a solid price for 20 bucks. It's kind of one of these games though that'll make your brain hurt after a while, because it's like you're doing something and then you die, and then that's doing it, and then you move over somewhere else, and then it throws this cube, and then you grab it. It's kind of one of those brain melt, you know, it's one of these games that'll kind of put your brain on tilt, so to speak. But I'm a fan of Transpose. Good, solid puzzle game for 20 bucks. It definitely has that Tron look. It's got good sound, good visuals. I think it's pretty solid. I'm not going to say it's like Game of the Year material, but I do believe it's pretty solid. That arrived on November 6th. Okay, our next November game, and this one's kind of a interesting one. This one kind of comes out of left field a little bit. Now, I don't know the exact release date. Ah, man, here's a 720p one. Okay, so I will change this real quick. You got me. This is the second time I've been gotten by a 720p video. But this is Poker Stars VR. Now, I was looking up, I was trying to figure out what games came out in the month of November, and on Steam, it says that Poker Stars VR is a November 8th game. I don't know when this hit Oculus, so I don't know for sure that this is like truly a November game, but I'm going to go ahead and put it in here because I think it's pretty freaking awesome. I played the Oculus version myself personally, and this is one of those games where I was in this thing playing poker with other real people, talking with other real people, and this is one of these experiences that absolutely convinces me. Like, I am so convinced that VR and AR, unstoppable. Absolutely unstoppable. Everybody will be playing VR and AR. No one will be able to get away from VR and AR. It is simply a matter of time, ladies and gentlemen. It is simply a matter of time. Now, we are on the frontier. We're the frontiersmen. We're the people that are exploring VR way ahead of the wide open masses, you know, the great unwashed. We have explored this frontier of VR, and there's so many people out there walking around right now that have no idea that they are going to be blown away by VR, and they're going to spend a lot of their lives in VR and in AR. And this is a great example of it, because the bottom line here is, if you're somebody that was really into going to poker night every Friday night with your good buddies, like, I can imagine there's somebody out there, 65-year-old man, right? There's some 65-year-old man out there that always played poker with his buddies, like every Friday at his buddy Joe's house, but maybe Joe passed away. You know, I hate to go dark here, but maybe Joe passed away, right? And maybe poker night ended, and now this guy isn't able to go to poker night, and so a big part of his life is missing. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? This guy could jump into PokerStars VR, and you literally can have that poker night experience with another 7 random people, or I'm not sure how many people can total be in here, but you can literally have that poker night experience. Like, it almost feels like exactly the same thing. And the amazing thing about it is you could have it at any second of the day. You don't have to drive anywhere. You don't have to wait for Friday at a certain time, and you don't have to drive all the way to Joe's house, and you don't have to figure out what kind of beer you're going to bring over to Joe's house and all of that. You could have the poker night experience, a legitimate, pretty damn good poker night experience, in the comfort of your own home at any given time. And this is just another example for me why VR, it left the station. It has left the station. It is a runaway train. It is not going to stop. It is just simply a matter of time before everybody else understands what we already understand. And so that's why I wanted to feature PokerStars VR, one of the primary games in the month of November, assuming that this is really a November game. What I need is an Oculus Rift fanboy to find out, when did this arrive on Oculus? Did it arrive in November as well? If it did, then this qualifies as one of our November games. Okay, let's go into the next game of November that I wanted to get into. And November, pretty solid. You know, it's got a lot of different games. It doesn't really have one game that like super jumps out in front of the crowd, but it does have a lot of solid games. Here's our next one. And I gotta redo my video here. Hold on a sec, folks, because PokerStars screwed me up with that 720p video. And so here we go. This is 10 Hearts. This is coming to us from Rogue Sun. This is a very high quality game. A lot of care was taken with this game. This is not an indie game that somebody scrapped together real fast and it's like got some interesting little things going. No, there is a lot of love and care that went into this game. This is a high quality developer, Rogue Sun. These guys have chops. They're basically a new development studio, but all of the guys behind Rogue Sun, they've worked on other primetime games. These guys know what the F they're doing, and you'll see it in the cinematics. You'll see it in a lot of aspects of this game. I gotta tell you though, I'm kind of worried. Like, this is one of these games, like, I'm worried for Rogue Sun as a developer, because I hope they have a long-term opinion of VR, and I hope that they don't need to like make their money back on this game, because I don't know that it's gonna happen. It's a solid, wonderful game. I've got nothing but good things to say about this game. I had a great time playing this game. At the same time, it's not really my particular genre. It doesn't really tickle my particular fancy with all of the kind of things that are going on in the game, but it's such a quality release, such a great game, and at such a nice, decent price. Like, I'm pretty sure this is a $20 game. Like, they're not asking for 30, 40 bucks here. I believe it's $19.99. And I would love to see these guys have a lot of success, but we are in a niche of a niche. Yes, VR is a runaway train. It has left the station, but very few people realize it right now. We are in the extreme minority, and I just don't know that they're going to sell enough copies of this. It kind of worries me a little bit because it is so high quality. It does have such great production values. You know, it was done so well. So that is 10 Hearts. That came out on November 8th. Okay, you know what? I think we're just going to go through the rest of these games of November. This might take the show a little bit longer, but we've got like 11 minutes here. Let's go through the rest of November because some of these are blind spots anyways, so I won't be spending a lot of time with them. So let's go ahead and go into the next one. So 10 Hearts was November 8th, so let's get into our next November release. And our next November release is Tetris Effect. Yay! Tetris Effect. Yes, so Tetris Effect arrived on November 9th. Now, I've talked about Tetris Effect a number of times, and I played the demo. I did play the demo when it was there and when it was available. But I gotta be honest and say that this is one of these few games where back in the early days of VR, like back in 2016, back in early 2017, when all the flat gamers out there were hating VR with a passion, they wanted VR to die in a boat fire. One of the things that they would always say about a lot of the different games is like, why is this in VR, man? Why does it need to be in VR, man? Like VR isn't doing anything for this game. Like this game did not need VR. That is something that a lot of people would say back at that time. And sometimes they were right. Sometimes they were on the money. Like sometimes you did have a game where it's like, yeah, you know, you're kind of right. Like there really isn't anything VR about this game. This game does not really need to be VR. I guess you're kind of right with that one. Well, I've disagreed with a lot of those people. But then when I got to Tetris Effect and I tried the demo, I got to kind of agree with them. I don't know. I guess I'm just missing something that everybody else is understanding. I'm just missing it. Because for me, when I was playing this game and I was playing the Tetris part of this game, I'm dialed in on playing Tetris. So I'm not noticing all these like, you know, all these little things, all these little particles that are floating all around. I'm not really noticing that because I'm dialed in. I'm playing Tetris. I'm trying to play Tetris. And when I'm playing Tetris, it's on a two-dimensional plane that is kind of hovering out here a little bit in front of me. And I'm just focused on that. I'm not really noticing all these little things that are going on. But there's a lot of people. You know, I played Beat Saber and it brought tears to my eyes. I felt an electricity, shoot down my arm. Or maybe I was having a stroke. No, I'm just kidding. But I felt like electricity shoot down my arm. I kind of got those goosebump sensations when I played Beat Saber. And there was some waterworks, legitimately. Not like, boo-hoo-hoo, I'm crying. No, but like a little teardrop came out of my eye because I was just like, man, these guys nailed it. And there's a lot of people out there that vehemently believe that Tetris Effect brought it in a major way. And there's people that have played this in VR and they really believe that this game is doing something special. And it is a special game. I don't get it, and I don't agree with those people. But you know what? I got to admit that I am not the alpha and the omega. There are other people that exist. Other people have opinions, and I'm not always going to be right. And sometimes I'm going to experience something that just doesn't touch me. It doesn't mean that it's invalidated, and it doesn't mean anything. Sometimes there's going to be great stuff that I just don't get. And so maybe Tetris Effect is one of those games. I don't know. This is a blind spot. I tried the demo, but I haven't played the real game, so can't really say much about that. That's my thought on Tetris Effect VR. But, you know, I have to include it among these November games because there are people that are not dumb that are ranting and raving about it. So they must see something in it. Okay, let's go to the next game of November. And I was wondering, should I include this or not? I'm going to go ahead and include it. Maybe it doesn't deserve to be included, especially now that we've played Contractors. Okay, so this is Zero Caliber. Zero Caliber came out on November 9th. And, you know, when this first hit, a lot of people were jumping into this game and playing this game. I know Chris from VR Roundtable, I believe he's actually played this game, and he's had fun in this game with some of his other buddies and the whole multiplayer thing. I never really got into it. I played it a little bit here and there. Didn't really do much for me. You know, there wasn't anything about this that really stood out to me, and like I'm not a fan of this genre in particular, so for me to get into one of these games, it's gonna have to do something special. Like Firewall 0 Hour, it was kind of the combination of that aim controller and also the 3D audio, just incredible 3D audio. Contractors is doing something special. I can kind of feel what's going on in Contractors. I can see why Contractors might like really rally around a lot of people. Zero Caliber didn't really do it for me, but you know what? I'll give it a little bit of love. It was a November game, and people did like it. So, you know, that is Zero Caliber, their November 9th release. Okay, the next one we're going to go to, and unfortunately, it's very unfortunate, but unfortunately, this is a blind spot, folks. This is a legitimate blind spot, and I wish it wasn't, but it is a blind spot, and I am talking about Runes: The Forgotten Path. Runes: The Forgotten Path came out on November 14th. Look at this. Look at this trailer. This looks beautiful. Now, they did have an interactive trailer. And I talked about the interactive trailer. I thought the interactive trailer was really cool. I wish every developer did an interactive trailer like that. I thought that was a really good idea. But one of the downsides of the interactive trailer is you're kind of on that beach, and it kind of looks like, what's that game? Shadow of the Beast or whatever. You know, it kind of has that look, and you're on this beach, and there's like these zombies coming at you, and you can kind of like shoot bombs out or whatever. You're kind of like throwing grenades or something like that, and you blow these zombies away, and the zombies go flying back. And right here, this is the part I'm talking about. This is this beach area. Now, I didn't do that shield thing, and I wasn't really shooting those zombies, but I did like throw a bomb at them, and I knocked them back. And it was a bit janky in terms of animations and stuff. In fact, I believe Fluke tried the interactive trailer, and after trying it was like, oh hell no, this game seems like amateur hour to me. I'm not interested in it. I'm still incredibly interested in this game. I love these visuals. I love how bright and colorful it is. I especially like the green, like these forest areas and stuff look freaking fantastic. But I'm not buying this game. I believe this is like $30. And so I would have to reach into my own private $30 pot of money and buy this game. And here's, you know, this speaks to 10-6, where he's like, dude, you don't buy any games. You just get them for free. You're not really supporting the industry, you know, blah, 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 blah. Well, see, here's the thing. My excuse, I have a legitimate excuse, I believe. I take my money, like the money that I have, it goes towards hardware, because I don't get free hardware. NVIDIA isn't going to send me a graphics card. MSI isn't going to send me a free motherboard. G-Skill isn't sending me free RAM. Samsung isn't sending me free SSDs. I don't get free hardware. I do get free games sometimes. So basically, any little money I have, it goes into this basket, which is devoted towards hardware. And that's how I'm building this new powerhouse computer that I'm building, because all of my money goes towards that and none of it goes towards games. So I've never bought this. So this is a total blind spot for me. It's unfortunate because I really would like to be able to speak upon this game, but I don't know. That is Runes: The Forgotten Path. I still think it looks pretty dope. Maybe we could take a look at the Steam page real quick in a minute here, but I got to cover the rest of these November games. Okay, what is the next biggest game of November? And we might be talking about Game of the Month. This is a stunner of stunners. What am I talking about, ladies and gentlemen? I am talking about Squishies. Yeah, Squishies, released on November 20th. This is by, is it Brain Seed Factory, I believe is the name of the developer here. I think Brain Seed Factory. I might have that wrong. But you know what? I like Squishies. I really do. Now, am I kind of, like, does this seriously have an opportunity to win November? No, it probably doesn't. But you know what? I wanted to include it, and I might even do a Let's Play of this game to try to show people why I like this game, why I think it is pretty cool. It is a cool puzzle game. It is incredibly colorful. It is incredibly vibrant. The other thing about it is you are really going to use your Move controllers. You're really going to be moving around and manipulating with your Move controllers. And I feel like the more that you're interacting with the Move controllers, the more you kind of buy into the experience and you're in this VR world. So I kind of like games that use Move controllers in a really good way. And you're really manipulating, you're really moving around in there, you're really doing things in there. Yeah, Brainseed Factory is a developer. I'm a fan of Squishies. Maybe I'll do a Let's Play of this at some point, but I did want to give it a little bit of recognition here as a November release. It came out on November 20th. It's a little bit pricey. It's $25. I feel like I could recommend it a little bit better if it was at $20. But I'm a fan. I like this game, you know, sue me. Okay, and then the last game that we're going to feature in the month of November, last but not least, and maybe this is the biggest game of the month of November. It might be. We are talking about Scraper. Scraper First Strike by Labradex Studios. This arrived on November 21st, and it's an interesting game because this is a game where you kind of look at the video of this game and you kind of think, oh, this is a first-person shooter. It's sci-fi. You're standing up. You're in this VR world. You're surrounded by like an iRobot, Terminator, kind of a world with these robots. Even a little bit of like RoboCop. You're in New Austin, but I don't know. It kind of reminds me of like Detroit in the future or something like that. And that is Scraper. But the reality is you actually sit down in a chair. You sit down in a chair. You're kind of in this little hover pod that is moving around, but you are interacting in this world. Now, here's the thing, guys. I tried to play Scraper last night. I want to get back into this game. I want to experience more of this game. I felt like I kind of gave it short shrift. And here we are. We're talking about the games of November. This is a big game in November, and I wanted to try it out. But you know what? I kept trying to play this game, and it kept crashing. It kept crashing. Has anybody else had this problem with Scraper? Is this just an Oculus Rift thing? Because when I try to get into this game, I got like a coin flips chance of actually getting into this game. And that's a little bit irritating because sometimes you sit down and you're like, yeah, man, I'm going to play Scraper. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to sit down. You know, I'm going to move my chair into the center spot. I'm going to sit down. I'm situated. I'm ready to play Scraper. I fire the game up. It seems like it's working. It loads up. I'm in the Scraper menu. I select Oculus Rift controllers. I feel like I'm about to get into the game. And then all of a sudden, I don't know. All of a sudden, it just disappears. Like, what the hell happened? Or it's just non-responsive, and I just have to close out of it. Has anybody else had that problem with Scraper? So, you know, but at the same time, when I've been in this game, it's kind of like a movie, man. It's kind of like you're in a sci-fi movie. There is straight up production value here. This is borderline almost like a AAA game. I guess you can call it a AA game. Scraper First Strike. It is one of the better games in the month of November. It arrived on the 21st. It hit Oculus Rift and Steam. Of course, this game, actually, you know what? Speak of the devil, I believe Scraper is available for PlayStation VR today. I believe this comes out today for PlayStation VR. Don't quote me on that, but the last time I heard, I thought it was December 18th. So Scraper might be hitting PlayStation VR today, but this is a November release as far as we're concerned. Still a very solid game. Shirzad Khan City says your motherboard is so 90s. Yeah, you know, that might be part of it. Again, I can't really blame it on Labradex Studios. Again, I got a motherboard from the year of our Lord, 2011. The memory that is in my computer is from the year of our Lord, 2011. The CPU, the year of our Lord, 2011. I am about to step into the modern era, folks. I'm going to have a 2018 motherboard, a 2018 CPU, 2018 memory. It is all gizned, in the hisnud. So maybe when I get that all situated and I get into Scraper, maybe it will not have any problems anymore. Maybe it's been all my fault. So I can't really throw it all on Scraper. I was just wondering if anybody else had any crashing or anything like that. Alrighty, so anyway, guys, that's basically our November breakdown. So let's go ahead and throw on our recap. Let's do a quick recap of all of the games of November. We did have a lot of them. So where is this? Okay, games of November. Here we go. Okay, yeah, so these are the best VR games of November for 2018. We've got a lot of possibilities. We have Déraciné. On November 6th, we have Transpose on November 6th. Poker Stars on November 8th. 10 Hearts on November 8th. Tetris Effect on November 9th. Zero Caliber on November 9th. Runes, The Forgotten Path hit on November 14th. Squishies, our current favorite for Game of the Month, on November 20th. And Scraper on November 21st. And I got to tell you guys, I don't really have a clear-cut game that I'm going to run to right here. I got to tell you that, like, what am I going to, like, I'm juggling. Okay, so Transpose, 10 Hearts, Poker Stars VR, Scraper. I think it's really those 4 games, and I don't know which one deserves it. I really don't. So maybe in your guys' comments and stuff, I don't have my Game of the Month for November yet. You know, leave some comments. Maybe I got to get into Scraper a bit more. You know, maybe Tetris Effect is the game of the month and I just got a terrible blind spot. Maybe it's Runes, The Forgotten Path. Never played the full game, so really can't say about that. Déraciné, never played that one as well. So I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted here about what is the best VR game of November. Maybe leave a comment, you know, after this show. Tell us about what you think is the best VR game of November. Or you can go ahead and jump in our Discord server. We have a conversation like when this show ends. A lot of people jump into Discord. We kind of talk about some different things over there. So you can go ahead and do that. Jump into our Discord server. Tell us about that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and look at a few comments in chat here before I have to get out of here. I am starting to get hungry here. So I'm going to scroll way the hell back here and just see what kind of comments really jump out at me. Greg's VR says Tetris Effect shows the power of the branded IP. So that was back when we were talking about Tetris Effect. Phil Yarn says, I think Rez is way better VR game than Tetris Effect. I would agree with that. Fluke says they can call it an interactive trailer, but it's just a demo and it sucked. He's talking about Runes, The Forgotten Path right there. Let's see. I'm still scrolling down here. Blah, 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 blah. Anthony runs into the other room and tells the kids, you need to come play this game, Squishies. Yeah, no, my kids would not want to play Squishies. They have no interest in Squishies. Anthony needs to do a Let's Play with VR Paradise. I do not want to get kicked off YouTube, okay? Not looking to do that. The girl will say, I caught you looking at my bottom. You sure did. You sure did. Paradise Decay says, Scraper never crashed for me. Okay. And Hussein X says, Scraper is a must buy for me. So maybe, yeah, maybe my complaints about Scraper, maybe it does have to do with some of my PC problems. That could be certainly it. Paradise Decay says 10 Hearts for me. So out of all these November games, Paradise Decay is going with 10 Hearts. Gary Haylock says, maybe 10 Hearts. Mysterious Mr. X checking in for the first time in a long time. Tetris VR is the game of 60 seconds. Not sure what that means. So maybe it's a very good short burst game. And Shirzad Khan City says Scraper is good if it was $15 maybe. Hussein X says Scraper for me from your list. Transpose also a must buy. So these are some of the recent things. And Paradise Decay says don't forget to mention Talos Principle VR Edition on Steam is on sale and it's at an incredible price. Oh my God. Hold on, guys. Let's switch over to our Webby browser. I am a huge fan of Talos Principle VR. I feel like Talos Principle VR, wow. Oh my God, it is on sale, folks. Look at this. $6. $6. This is 85% off. This is forget what you're doing right now, folks. Forget what you're doing. Buy this immediately. If you do not have this in your catalog, what the hell are you doing? This is $6. This is $6. This is easily one of the best VR games we have, period. This is probably in my top 10 best VR games, period. Talk about going to another world and feeling like you're in another world. Just such a damn good job. Now, is this ultimately a puzzle game? Yeah, it ultimately is a puzzle game. Does it have hours upon hours upon hours of entertainment? Hell yes. And is this a game where when you get inside it, you're in this world, you're in the sun, you're looking at your robot hand, there's some shade right there. You look at your robot hand, you guys really got to do this if you haven't done this. Take your robot hand while it's in the bright sunlight and move it into the shade. And then move it back into the sun, move it back into the shade. I don't know why, but that shit just freaking, it's like, I'm like, oh, look at that. I move it from the sun to the shade and then back into the sun. And for some reason, it makes me feel like I'm in this world. Talos Principle VR, fan-freaking-tastic. $6? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is absolutely a brilliant game. This game will make your brain hurt. It will make your brain hurt. It will put your brain on tilt. Absolutely will put your brain on tilt. But damn, this game is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, if I were to rank my 20 favorite VR games ever across every platform, regardless of what year it came out, Talos Principle VR would be in the mix. Absolutely in the mix. I love the world. I love the music. I love the environment. Now, I'm not a puzzle guy. Like, puzzle games are not my thing, but I recognize I recognize when someone steps up to the plate, somebody steps up to the plate and they just yank it out of the park. I can recognize when that happens, even if it's not my favorite genre. And Talos Principle VR is absolutely in the mix. So good looking out, Paradise. Good looking out. Because, yeah, this is $6 American bucks. This is 6 Trump bucks. 6 Trump bucks will get you Talos Principle VR. One of the most magnificent games we've ever seen in our entire lives. Absolutely awesome. Alrighty, guys. Well, I've been running, and Fluke says, the world was wasted on a puzzle game. Yeah, you might be right. Maybe the world was wasted on a puzzle game, that really cool world that you're in. But, dude, it is a cool game. It is a sweet game. Much love to Talos Principle VR. All right, guys, let me go ahead and get my little outro logo onto the screen here, and this will wrap it up for our Tuesday show. And you know what, guys? Here's what we're going to do. We are going to stay online until 2 p.m. We're going to stay here until 2 p.m. for Bioshock VR. Yeah, man, Bioshock VR. Let's just stay here. We can chat amongst ourselves all the way until 2 p.m. We'll watch that Twitch stream. And we will see Blind Squirrel Games. Are they bringing the noise? Bioshock VR. Is it going to happen? No, we're not going to stay online. We are ending the show. Sorry, folks. We are going to end the show. But I will be back tomorrow on Wednesday at about 11 a.m. Pacific time. Hey, you know what's awesome, guys? Oh, Echo Combat. Echo Combat. Yes, Echo Combat does count. See? I missed one. Echo Combat does count for the month of November, so I definitely need to get Echo Combat onto our list. It does count. Now, am I going to be choosing Echo Combat over, say, Transpose, PokerStars VR, 10 Hearts? Probably not, because it just wasn't really, like, Echo Combat is a great game. It's a great game, but it's just not my bag. But yeah, Echo Combat does count. It does count, guys. No, I am not staying online till 2. No, that is not happening. I am bouncing out of here. Hopefully we will be talking about Bioshock VR tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Hopefully we will be celebrating Bioshock VR. Hopefully we will have a brand new trailer. Hopefully Bioshock VR is announced that it's coming on January 23rd to all major VR platforms. How freaking awesome would that be? Hopefully it is not a PSVR exclusive. We gotta hope. But we will find all of this stuff out tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time. I got to bounce out of here. I got to get some grub. I am starving. And so I am going to go ahead and bounce out of here. But this was fun. Had a lot of fun. See everybody tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time. See you guys then. Take it easy. Later.